everybody, and welcome to Life in a Shell. I am your host, Christina Schell, and welcome back to another episode. Did you miss me? Because I missed you guys. Okay, it's been a while since we've come back with another podcast episode. Life has been lifing, but we've been working really hard behind the scenes on all the dreams of the podcast, and I'm really excited to say that we are back for weekly episodes. I am so excited about today's podcast episode, and I think it might be my favorite episode yet. Also, what's super exciting is today's episode is a sponsored podcast episode by a woman that I adore and that inspires me so much. Her name is Noelle Izard, and she is a lawyer based in Campbell River on Vancouver Island. And she runs a remote-first legal practice serving clients across BC. Noelle's practice focuses on estate planning, family law, and business law. And she combines big law experience with a community-centered approach. Noelle's work is approachable, transparent, and designed to give people clarity and confidence in some of life's hardest and biggest moments. And I'm telling you, if you need a lawyer, you have to go talk to Noelle. She is the only person I personally would go to for any sorts of legal advice. Ever since I've met Noelle, she has been inspiring me. She is so kind, she is so empowering and funny. And I cannot wait to tell you guys how I personally met Noelle later on in the podcast. And a little shout out to Noelle. Noelle, you are amazing. Thank you so much for being a sponsor for Life in a Shell podcast and supporting the show. I adore you. Okay, you guys, let's dive into this very inspiring podcast episode. And like I mentioned, I think this might be my favorite episode yet. So much juiciness going on in this episode. On this episode, I call up a woman who inspires me tremendously. She's a great friend of mine, and her name is Taylor Hui. Taylor Hui is the founder of BeaYOUtiful Foundation. And BeaYOUtiful Foundation is a Canadian charity that empowers girls to build confidence through mentorship, which is the best. Literally, BeaYOUtiful Foundation has changed my life. I am a speaker and a mentor. I teach dance every so often here and there for the youth, for our soul sisters, and it is the most amazing community. And then after that, we are going to be diving into my segment, Call Me on My Schell. And on this week's episode for Call Me on My Schell, I have some amazing call-in answers answering the question, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? And well, the answers that I received on my Schell are so wholesome, I cannot wait to share some of my favorites. And I'll also share a few things that I would also tell my younger self. Okay, let's call up the amazing Taylor Hui on my Schell. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Taylor Hui.
Christina Schell. Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad I picked up this call.
Oh my goodness. I have been wanting to talk to you, Taylor, for so long because you've been like all over the place. You've been traveling.
It's been a summer of adventure, I will say, but just landed back in Vancouver a couple days ago. Happy to be home for what is now like the start of fall season, I guess.
I know, wild.
It's wild to even say that, but heart of gratitude. It's been an incredible couple of months. I was overseas in Asia traveling and working. So it's been great, but happy to be here and be present with you today.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I know a lot of our listeners already know Taylor Hui, but Taylor, for anybody who's listening who hasn't had the pleasure to meet you yet, can you tell them a little bit about you?
Always the hardest question on at any interview to answer, or any call to answer.
Yeah, but like you're a rock star.
Let's go for it. It always comes out a bit differently, but Taylor Hui, I am born and raised in Vancouver, BC, but have spent a good chunk of my 20s living over in Asia working. I am a social entrepreneur at heart. I always say everything that I do, I always want it to be with intention and love. And that has really kind of guided me on the path of where I am today, which is the founder and executive director of the BeaYOUtiful Foundation. So working in the charitable sector is the number one kind of priority for me. And my focus is with children and youth, specifically our next generation, which I just am so excited for because they are our future leaders, but I can dive into that later. And then, over the years, or I guess over the decade, have been able to also have a career in like the modeling and acting world. Came out of just a passion for the clothing and fashion industry, I'll say, and have really been able to carve out a cool chunk of my life, modeling overseas and being able to work on, different productions and just get really creative. I think I use both sides of my brain in a different way, but creativity is at the root of so much of it. Otherwise, love being out in nature, love spending time with family and friends. Grew up very close to my family in a small family business, and so definitely have my values at the top of where I sit and everything I do. Again, just with that intention setting.
I love that so much. I really connected with Taylor because you are such a creative, and I think it's amazing because you do so many different, amazing, inspiring things. I really met Taylor through BeaYOUtiful Foundation. And I always like to say, like, you got me right away because I literally had my life just changed because I came in, and Taylor's going to explain a little bit about BeaYOUtiful Foundation, but I came in as a speaker and I taught a dance class. And the very first time I met you was actually in my class. We'll get back to that. But I taught a class for BeaYOUtiful Foundation, and it started to rain and we were outside.
That was a magical moment.
It was literally the magicalest moment, and it's like a forever memory. And I was teaching these young kids and I was inspiring them, and the rain was coming down and we were dancing, and it was like literally one of the best moments of life. And I just felt like I connected with you so much. And I was like, who is this girl? I must know more. And I'm so happy that our journey just has continued to evolve. And you are somebody that inspires me so much and so many people around you. And so let's tell the listeners a little bit about BeaYOUtiful Foundation so we can all get caught up.
Well, thank you for that intro. Talk about all the feels. I have the goosebumps. I mean, I think you really laid it out so perfectly, which is BeaYOUtiful creates these magical moments and these safe spaces, not only for young girls to just live in their authentic selves, but for us as women to just be present in a community that is so accepting and joyful and really celebrates what often we're told to push to the side or to hide, which is what makes us different. And I think growing up, I didn't have a cool hangout space like the BeaYOUtiful program, and I really would have benefited from having a community of women that supported me. You know, I was so grateful. I grew up so close to my mom and had some core best friends, but the word mentor wasn't really floating around in my elementary school and my high school. Mentorship was this very unknown kind of term that I really only realized later into my adult years would become so instrumental in who I am today and how we can mentor the next generation as well. But at its core, BeaYOUtiful is a not-for-profit. We are a registered Canadian charity, and we provide confidence, mental health, and resilience building classes for female and non-binary youth ages 8 to 14. So that really pivotal kind of few years where we've all been there.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out, who are we? Our bodies are changing. Our friend dynamics are changing. We're going into, whether it's middle school or high school, there's some big scary things happening. And now you add that layer of social media into the mix. It's a wild, wild game out there. And so I think for us at BeaYOUtiful, it's really providing after school programs, workshops, and conferences that allow young girls to come in and just explore what it means to be a woman, what it means to be authentically themselves, and also know that they are supported along the way. Because let's be honest, it's hard to navigate, those years of who you are and how do you show up in a way that still feels good to you, but you want to so badly fit in. And I just remember being 13 and you're fighting these narratives in your head. And if someone could come up to you and just say, hey, you're going to find your people if you just stick to being exactly who you are in this moment. How incredible.
I just got shivers when you said it.
Right? And even to hear that now as a woman, it's so life-changing to have that community around. So the joy of BeaYOUtiful is we provide these workshops and programs through mentorship for that next generation. But really, us as women, as you just so perfectly explained from that rooftop rain dance experience, we as adults get to take away so much from it. So Our team is now, we have a small core staff team, but our mentorship team of volunteers is over 500 across Canada. So huge community of women who see the value in this for the younger generation, but also for themselves.
And I think that's so The beautiful thing about BeaYOUtiful Foundation is I have met so many amazing friends through mentoring and through being a part of just showing up and like volunteering. It has been unbelievable. So I just want to say thank you for creating a space for everyone, because I always think if that wasn't to be there, that would be insane. And I think that you just starting that has like changed so many lives. I want to know why you started BeaYOUtiful Foundation.
Looking back, there definitely was a few key points, I would say, in my childhood that I had these what I call aha moments. And I literally wrote that in my journal when I was 16 of having one of these aha moments. And it really kind of was that domino effect of pushing me towards like this path of, philanthropy and youth impact. But really the turning kind of idea, or when this concept of running a program started, was when I had found out that, one of my closest friends at the time had been suffering with an eating disorder. And I had no idea. She did such a good job of really, I'm going to say, masking that she was struggling with something. And I mean, I think we all as young adults can do a great job of pretending that everything's perfect or okay, or we want it to seem that way because we're afraid to ask for help or we're afraid of what people think. But ultimately, she had shared with me that eating disorder had started when she was in grade 3.
Oh my gosh.
So not only now am I facing this like kind of, very like harsh reality that some of my closest friends in my circle are struggling with mental health challenges, but also that it had been started from when she was 8, 9 years old.
I was going to say grade 3 is 8, right?
Yes. And so think about that. Like actually even like grades, that's actually even, sorry, like 7 or 8. So to have a young person feel already so uncomfortable in their body, or feel like they couldn't just be in this beautiful body that they were blessed with and it had to be changed to fit in, or because of, if another person had made fun of their weight in school or had said something negative about their appearance, this had started for this friend, like, a domino effect of now, how am I going to change the way I look? How am I going to change the way that I choose to show up? And so I was heartbroken hearing that. And originally my concept was to start with girls in high school, this program.
Mm-hmm.
And after hearing, what her story, it became clear to me that really my target age had to be even younger. A lot of these issues were starting, grade 3 or grade 4, grade 5. And I had experienced a cyberbullying challenge when phones first came out in grade 8. But looking back now, there was so many different bullying experiences that I had faced throughout my elementary school years. And if only I had the tools and resources to tune into that mentorship component and to ask those tough questions to other women who had also gone through same things, like how incredible. And so that really, it was a chain reaction of introreflection, of like looking within myself and being like, okay, what did I need when I was that age and what could I have benefited from? I was a very anxious child, very much a perfectionist, could have benefited from so many of these classes that we now provide.
Mm-hmm.
And likewise for my friend, looking at the body image challenges that she went through, how could we have been there for her? So it was really channeling at 17 years old what I needed when I was 8 years old. And how do you build out a program that is relatable and digestible for that age group?
Totally. I think you're unbelievable, Taylor. I think the best thing about BeaYOUtiful Foundation too is we see all these young girls just thriving, and they get so inspired by the end of the day. Like they show up and they're so nervous, and then they leave at the end of the class and they're just so
They're
comfortable,
shining.
in their skin, and they're so like speaking their truth. And you're like, that's unbelievable. And I also know it's so healing for all the mentors too. Being a dancer, I know I was really lucky growing up in an art school that provided dance, but I know not everybody is introduced to dance growing up. And I know it's really expensive, and I don't know how my parents did it. Love you, Mom. It's a crime when people can't get into the room to even try to dance. And I love that you have like all different forms of arts and classes and creative components with BeaYOUtiful Foundation. And it's so cool because when I have been a dance teacher for BeaYOUtiful Foundation, a lot of the feedback that I get is from the young girls of, I've never danced before. This is so fun. I didn't know I could do it. Or there was one girl being like, I was so scared of looking silly, but I just lived my life.
I love it. And hearing those, affirmations literally coming out within, like you said, they might have walked in an hour before and been really closed off and nervous and just fearful of judgment. And then to like release all of that through the art of moving is so powerful. And that's a great kind of note that you hit there, which is like our guest speakers really do an amazing job of building that space. Because
100%.
like you said, let's be honest, not every child has had the opportunity to maybe participate in a dance class or try painting or listen to, like music during a sound bath. Like there have been some really life-changing moments, I know, for these young kids that suddenly they activate like a new part of their brain or they try something outside of their comfort zone. And that just like peels kind of a layer, off the onion, let's say, of really getting to the root of like, who are we and how can we continue to explore ourselves in non-traditional ways? Because I think the learning and education system that is currently in place in schools is not fit for 99% of the kids that are going through it. And I was one of them. I really felt like I had other ways that I could better learn or explore, whether it was my identity or even subjects like science and English. I'm such a hands-on learner and I'm a creative learner. And I really see that come through now in the kids that are coming through our doors, which you've witnessed, is everybody learns in a different way. So if you have a child that needs to get up and move their body, like, why are we restricting them to sit at a desk for 8 hours when that's like not going to benefit their capacity to retain any information in the first place? So we really try Beautiful, keep it dynamic, keep it engaging, have there be moments of movement, of creative expression, of dialogue, of participation where the kids are facilitating. We really always say at Beautiful, like we're not just facilitating a program, we're guiding a program. We're guiding really strong, important content, but letting the kids explore what it means to them through active storytelling.
I love it.
That's why everybody can be a mentor. Everyone that walks through, right? Like can be a mentor because we all have stories that have either been told or have not been told yet. And I think that's my number one tip when we get women that come through and are like, I can't mentor, I couldn't volunteer with Beautiful. Like I don't have what it takes. I don't have the experience. I always reflect back and say, well, you've gotten here so far. So tell me about a couple big things in your life that were life-changing, milestone moments, hardships, challenges. Like that right there is what will bring you down to the level of like relatability.
100%. Yes.
So everyone can be a mentor. We all have things that we've learned. It's just perspective. And it's like stepping into that confidence to own.
Totally.
You deserve to take up space. Your stories deserve to be told. And then how do you loop in acts of resiliency in that, in confidence building and self-esteem? Because every story that we've lived has like some kind of root meaning or root lesson. It's just how do you pull that out?
And I feel like if they're intrigued and wanting to be a mentor, there is a reason.
Absolutely.
Well, I think fear or the doubt of, I don't have what it takes. I think that's like no, of course you do. And I think Beautiful Foundation also reminds you that of course you have what it takes. And of course you have stuff that you can give. So if you're listening to this and you're like, maybe I want to be a mentor or volunteer. Well, you can go to Beautiful Foundation and people can message and apply right online.
Absolutely. It's an easy application online. You get to meet our team right away to set up an interview. Everyone should know that like our door is forever open. But if you've got a story to share or you're just interested in, like making an impact in any capacity, we have women that come in and mentor for 8 years. We have women that come for a season. Like you said, if there's a calling to do it, that's probably a good reason that you've got something to share with that next gen.
100%. Okay, Taylor, I want to know, what is something your younger self would be super proud of you for?
I think that I wasn't afraid to be all in.
Ooh.
I really look at the last, I'm going to say like 15 years of my life and the risks that I took and the chances that I guess I took on myself. And I really bet on myself for some things, especially like coming out of high school and into a career that I knew was not, let's say, secure or stable, traveling a lot overseas by myself. There was so many moments that I really had to just be all in and commit to it and also own that if it didn't work out, that was also my choice. And what I learned along the way was that everything works out.
Everything works out.
Everything has a purpose and alignment. And I could do a whole talk on manifestation with you, but I have seen in action what it looks like when you believe in yourself. That is when you really start to lose the fear of like the what ifs or this quote unquote, like I failed, because you start to realize there is no failure along the way, because everything becomes this, stepping stone towards the path that you didn't even know existed that's ahead of you, and learning new skills and that this period of growth. Like, it's really all about the journey. But if I hadn't been all in on myself and known, and that again stems from, I think, having confidence and just like that inner belief that you can do it. It might not turn out the way that you thought it was going to, but you still took the chance, and that ends up being like the greatest reward, that you can look back and be like, heck yeah, I took the biggest bet on myself, and look at where I am, and look at what it brought me. Look at the friendships it brought me. Look at the memories. Even this summer, I almost said no to 2 months living in China, and it ended up being the most incredible summer of my life, and really high emotion moments too. Like, just feeling so connected to my heritage and my roots and my family. And none of that would have happened if I wouldn't have been all in. But I think if you have this undying belief that anything you dream of is possible, it is.
I love it.
It's so cheesy, but
that's the way it is. So Taylor, my last question I have for you is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
It's only a dream until you take the first step. Don't underestimate your worth. Stand boldly and lead with compassion, and know that failure is going to be your greatest learning tool through it all. And what I realized along the way, and what I wish that younger 8-year-old Taylor knew, was that the path to the destination, like, that's really the story that you're going to share with the world. I haven't even gotten to the end of my story or my goal yet, but I don't really focus on that anymore. The milestones along the way and the growth along the way has become so much of my identity building and who I am. And yeah, like, maybe that's what I should tell my younger self. I never even thought about it that way, but don't focus on the goal.
I love that, Taylor. Okay, well, Taylor, you are a rock star, and I love how you answered that. I think you are amazing. I think everybody should go check out BeaYOUtiful Foundation on Instagram. Go follow Taylor. I will put all the tags in the show notes. And if you are looking for a charity to donate to, I highly recommend BeaYOUtiful Foundation, because literally Taylor and the team and all the mentors and volunteers are literally changing lives. And I think it is the most beautiful thing ever.
No pun intended.
Literally.
But thank you, Christina. Yes, please get in touch if you want to inspire, empower, be a part of a community. We'd love to have you. But thank you for giving me this platform to be my authentic self. And I'm just so grateful to be here. I adore you.
I love you, Taylor. And I'm excited. We'll bring you back onto the podcast. I'll talk to you soon. I love you lots. Bye, honey.
Call me soon.
Okay, how amazing was that conversation with Taylor Hui? She is badass. She's so inspiring. And we got to bring her back onto the podcast. I am so grateful that Taylor started BeaYOUtiful Foundation. BeaYOUtiful Foundation is changing so many lives all across Canada. And I have met so many amazing women through BeaYOUtiful Foundation. And this is actually how I met today's podcast sponsor. I met Noelle Iser through BeaYOUtiful Foundation. We were both guest speakers and mentors. And when I watched her teach and inspire the youth, I was like, I have to be friends with this lady. Something I love about Noelle is that her career is grounded in empowerment and authenticity. Noelle is also an amazing mother, and I am so proud of her for starting her own practice, because that gives her the flexibility to do all of the amazing things that she is doing. And beyond law, she has volunteered and worked in spaces that support women and girls. And oh my goodness, she creates the safest, most empowering spaces. And most recently, Noelle has joined forces with Kaleo Collective, which is a BC and Alberta initiative supporting single moms navigating life. How cool is that? And what I love about Noelle is that law isn't just about documents. It's about helping people create lives rooted in care, clarity, and community. I have personally seen Noelle change so many lives and empower so many women of all ages, from youth to adults. And it is the most beautiful thing to witness. If you're looking for legal guidance that supports you in building your best and most authentic life, connect with Noelle Izard at www.noelleizard.ca. And I have added all of her information to the show notes so you can easily go check her out. Okay, you guys, the question I'm asking today is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? Think about it for a second. Think about it. What would you tell your younger self? I don't know why, but I picture like 7-year-old Christina Schell. And when I was 7, I was obsessed with the Spice Girls. I wore leopard print all the time. I thought I was a cool girl, and I just loved the pop divas. I also was obsessed with dance. I started dancing when I was 3, but at 7, oh yeah, baby. That's when I knew exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I fell in love with dance. I was also a diva and super silly and have always loved music. I have a bunch of things I would want to tell my younger self, and I will share a few of them throughout the rest of the podcast. But the number one thing I would probably say first to little Christina Schell is that people are going to try and dim your light, and don't let them. Don't let anybody dim your light. And if I'm being completely honest, this is something that is still happening and something I have to still continuously remind myself. But honestly, when it happens now, I kind of just laugh about it and I say, joke's on them. And then I shine even brighter. But yeah, don't dim your light. Don't dim your light for others. Be yourself. Own it. And all the people that make you feel silly for being yourself, well, it sounds like that's their personal problem. What I try and remind myself today as 35-year-old Christina Schell, when people try to dim my light, it's just because it's their own insecurities being flared up. It's their own insecurities that are being pushed on me when it's not mine at all. And I would tell my younger self and future self today that I'm not too much, I'm not too little, and if I'm too much for you, go find less. I struggle a lot with feeling like I'm too much, and I struggle a lot with feeling like I'm not enough. And I think that's because some people have made me feel like I'm too much, and then my job within the entertainment industry sometimes makes me feel like I'm not enough when I'm not booking auditions and stuff like that. And I sometimes struggle with that in between of just being enough. And I know I am enough, but I think the highs and the lows of those opposite feelings have just been, some things I've experienced and some things that people have said to me. And I would just say it sounds like it's their personal problem. So take me or leave me, baby. Now I'm going to share more of what I would personally tell my younger self in a little bit, but I want to jump into these call-in answers because I asked friends this question and I have so many amazing voice notes that people left on My Schell, and I cannot wait to share them. So let's dive in.
Oh my gosh, if I could give my younger self one piece of advice, it would absolutely be, it is not your job to please everybody. Honor and love your authentic self first, and the people that are meant to be in your life will find you.
Okay, this one is very easy. Age is just a number. That's it. Age is just a number, especially when you're the one holding the meeting agenda. I think our society gets very caught up in, oh, this person is too young. This person is too old. This person can't do that. This person can't do this. I believe that there is this little thing called determination. And as long as you are determined to achieve these goals, you can do anything and you can do everything that you want in your life. I was very lucky to move up very quick in my line of work. And I am a very big advocator in the fact that you don't need to be 35 years old to be the head of your department. You don't need to have 25 years of experience to be the headline cook at the nearest Earl's. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it.
Okay, my advice to my younger self, little me, would be that there are going to be many people in your journey that are committed to misunderstanding you. but that's okay. You don't need to be for everyone. And eventually, by being yourself unapologetically, you will meet the best kinds of people. People that are open-hearted, people that are empathetic, people that are funny and smart and driven and intelligent. And together, you're all just gonna rock out together and have so much fun and have a great life. So don't worry about the haters. The good ones will come around.
Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you. Everybody is focusing on themselves. Everyone is worried about themselves. No one is worried about you. No one cares what you're wearing or what you're doing. And you really don't need to care that much. Just do you. That would be my advice.
Okay, yes to all of these. I'm obsessed. Amazing advice, friends. Another piece of advice I would tell my younger self is, Christina Schell, not everybody's going to stay with you, and that is okay. And trust me, the ones that left, you didn't want them anyways. So don't tear yourself apart about it. Not all friends are going to stay with you. Not all family is going to be there. And true colors definitely show. And when they walk away, it's really freaking hard. But over time, trust me, things start to make more sense. Things become clear. And in my experience, all the people that I thought were going to be in my life forever that aren't anymore, well, that's their loss. And it's a blessing in disguise. Ooh, okay. And another one that just came to my brain, and I would probably say this to like Christina Schell in her teenage years. I would probably say opportunity happens within chaos. I used to get really overwhelmed with dance and so many things happening. And oh my gosh, if I could blast to the future, like right now, I would say, girl, opportunity happens within chaos. When things are really busy, I feel like that's when the most opportunities are kind of presented to me. And when things are really slow, that's usually like when not a lot of auditions and stuff are coming in. And so I would tell myself opportunities happen within chaos, and that always keeps me calm. It always keeps me inspired and positive, and being able to push through in those moments that are really overwhelming and stressful. And it's really been helping me by saying that. Ooh, and one more thing, I would probably tell my bunhead little dancer self as a teenager, Christina Schell, all those years of hard work at the studio paid off. And I am so freaking proud of you. Okay, let's play more before I start crying, okay?
Okay, advice I would give my younger self, and just a reminder to my today's self, is you never know who you're inspiring, just simply by doing you. I mean, I think about how I feel when I watch a selfless act of kindness between two strangers on the street that made my day, or someone courageously rocking a bold outfit and now I want to go do it, or an artist putting their vulnerability on the line and their feelings and their own inspirations for the sake of their poetry or songwriting or film or podcast, wink wink. And just remember that we do live in a society that wants you to dim your light and conform and follow the formula that keeps capitalism and the patriarchy and all of those super fun things alive and well. But I think we're all artists here. And I mean, especially if you're listening to this podcast. I mean, we all know there's just so much unlearning that comes with growing up. And I mean, speaking for myself, my frontal lobe literally developed this year. So I'm meeting myself all over again, like it's the first time. And what a privilege, though, And when you're inspired by others and you act on it through whatever medium you can, and you find beauty in every little detail possible, you have this authentic aura about you that you can't help but rub off on others. And just add a little magic to their day, too. I'm sure you can probably think of an example of this in your life, but this is your reminder that you're someone's example too. So remember that and own it.
a piece of advice that I give my younger self is just I really do try to live by this, but we're not all perfect, but be nice to everyone, because you really never know who is going to be behind that casting table. In dance, it's a wild switch up, and anyone could be in charge, anyone could be producing something that you want to be a part of, and just being friendly with people and just showing your true bubbly self, I think it's just been so valuable, because people want to work with nice people. And yeah, just anytime working on something or auditioning for something in class, just being nice, I think it's just so important. It really goes a long way.
It would probably be to just trust yourself. And you're not going to have everything figured out, and you're not going to need everyone's approval to move forward. And just remember that we all have our own unique paths and timelines, and no two journeys are ever going to be the same. And they're actually not supposed to be. And so comparing your story to someone else's will only steal your joy and the uniqueness of your path. And to also just be patient with yourself, to stay curious and know that every experience, even the most difficult ones, are going to just shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate.
If I could give my younger self one piece of advice, it would be to not care what other people think, which I know is so cliche, but not only did that stop me from doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do, it just kept me crippled in self-judgment and kept me stuck in the past, and it colored the way I thought about myself. And so I would tell my younger self that only you get to live your life, and it doesn't matter what other people think about you, it matters what you think about you.
Well, have mercy. I love my friends. Honestly, all of these answers are so insightful, and I think it's an amazing reminder to listen to all of these, because sometimes we need to be reminded of all of this advice of right now in our life. I'm going to share one more piece of advice I would tell my younger self before I play the last few voice notes, okay? I would say, Christina Schell, you are way stronger than you think you are. And when you think you can't anymore, trust me, that extra little push is where the magic is. And that you're a fighter and you can do absolutely anything. And that is a magical gift. Okay, let's play a few more, because besties, this is amazing advice we are receiving. Okay, let's go.
Some advice that I would give my younger self is that your people are out there. There are people out there that are ready to support you, that will be there for your ups and your downs. And just keep on searching for them. Because as soon as you find them, it'll click. It'll feel like magic. It'll just be right. They'll have the same drive, the same passion, the same want for life and for success, for happiness, and you'll be able to bounce your energy off of each other and be able to live the life that you want, because you know that you have people there for you. Keep going. Keep finding your people. Don't settle for people that make you feel less than. That's not worth it. Your people are everything.
I was thinking about this question, and I was going to answer it on a deeper level, or on a maybe more serious, deeper level. But I actually remembered I saw some photos of myself earlier today randomly of when I was probably about maybe 13, and I had tweezed off all my eyebrows. And I'd probably go back and tell my younger self, you don't have to do that, because eyebrows are actually, everyone has their own style of eyebrows, and there'll be lots of trends, so don't tweeze them all off. Then I'd probably give myself some makeup advice when I was younger, and be like, you know what, you don't need to have the raccoon black eyeliner as much, or you should probably get a foundation that matches your skin, and things like that. But yeah, I would probably give myself some of that advice. I think I would give myself some really great life advice too, but that one just popped into my head and I thought it was funny. if you could go back and tell yourself, like, don't tweeze your eyebrows off.
I'm a dance teacher and I work with kids for a living, and something that I say often to them is to let go of your expectation of the outcome. And if someone had said that to me when I was younger and I ignored it, then I wish I had heard it. If not, I wish someone had told me that, because I think it is easy to get caught up in, if I work hard and if I follow all of these rules for life that people tell us to follow, then I will have this specific outcome and I will reach my goals. But if you let go and you are open to other opportunities and all forms of success, you sometimes end up with an outcome that maybe you didn't expect or want, but is equally as great or as surprising. And so I think it is important to still work hard towards your goals, but know that what they look like might be different than what you had initially anticipated. If you hold on too tight, you lose out on the opportunity to experience other things that you may not have thought you would experience.
It would definitely be to care less about what other people think. I think, especially as a young girl, like, so much of your life is ruled by what do other people think of me? Am I acting appropriately? Am I being too nice? Am I being too mean? Too dramatic? Like, whatever it might be. I think that, especially as young girls, we're really raised to be in the space for other people rather than be in the space for ourselves, which led, at least for me personally, to always constantly be thinking about what other people are thinking, whether it's like in a way of caring for them and wanting to make sure they feel okay, or, you know, caring what they think about me as well too. So I would definitely tell my younger little Sophia, like, girl, get it together. Stop caring what everyone else is thinking. Like, do what you think is most important to you and excites you the most. And don't stop doing something because what other people might think of it. Like, just live your life and follow your passions. And I think every little girl, but especially little Sophia, needs to hear that.
Okay, two things. I decided to end the call-in series with that last one because I used to care so much about what people thought about me, and sometimes I weave in and out of that, but I'd say that I don't really care anymore. And when I was growing up, it was a big thing I struggled with. I recently went to this party and I ran into this girl that was a year older than me, but we grew up together, and she was like, "Oh my God, I have to tell you something." And I was like, "Tell me." And she was like, "You are the very first person that I ever thought was cool." She's like, "I have this memory. I was 8. You were 7. You were in leopard print. You had these black sunglasses on, and you were probably dancing to like Britney Spears. And you just stood there with a leather jacket on with your hands on your hips." And I remember thinking to myself, that is the coolest girl ever. And something healed me when I heard her tell me that. And I went home that night and I was like, I used to care so much about what people thought about me that I was a little chameleon. Like, I was a little priss. I was preppy, and I don't know if that's actually who I was. I think that I've always been this like Elvis loving little punk badass girl, and her comment just made me go, "Oh my God," because I used to care so much about what people thought about me that I kind of got so far lost of who I was. And I've been feeling so myself in my adult years. And I don't know, I was drinking whiskey that night, and hearing that, I was like, damn. I feel really happy right now. I just want to say thank you to everybody who called in and left amazing advice of what you would tell your younger self. I think all of us who are listening to this podcast probably heard something that we needed to hear, or heard something that we needed to be reminded of. And remember, our little self is within us. And I think all this advice was just amazing advice to remind us of who we are, our worth, and that everything's just not that serious. Okay, rock stars, before we get into today's musical artist, I just want to say that this episode is sponsored and supported by Noelle Izard, a lawyer based on Vancouver Island who runs a remote-first practice serving clients all across BC. Her work is rooted in care, clarity, and community, with a focus on estate planning, family law, and business law. And you can learn more at www.noelleizard.ca. And remember, law doesn't have to feel overwhelming. And Noelle, she brings clarity and compassion to every conversation. I have added all of Noelle's information to the show notes, her website, her Instagram, so it's easy for you guys to access. Make sure you go follow her, go check her out, go say hi. She is so much fun to follow on Instagram, and I am telling you guys are all going to be so inspired by Noelle. And if you are ever in need of a lawyer, I highly, highly recommend going and contacting Noelle because she is your girl. And a fun fact about Noelle that I absolutely love is, you guys, she is a radio show host for 89.5 FM on CKTZ, which means we have to bring her on the podcast as a guest. I have so many questions about radio. Also, it would be so fun to bring her on and ask her some questions about being a lawyer. Once again, a big thank you and lots of love to you, Noelle. Thank you so much for supporting and sponsoring today's episode of Life in a Schell. You are the best, and thank you for supporting my dreams. And once again, everybody, make sure you go follow her on Instagram and go check her out and say hi. Love you, girl. Thank you. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It feels so good to be back podcasting. I'm going to be back with weekly episodes, so make sure you are following Life in a Schell podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you are listening from. Come say hi over on Instagram and make sure you're following me at Christina Schell. And if you're interested in being a sponsor for a Life in a Schell podcast episode, message me, let's chat. Or if you simply just want to help support the show, help support me as a creative artist, help support a woman in the arts, I have added my PayPal link in my little link that I have in the show notes. You can also find that link in all of my socials. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. I can't wait for next week's episode. And oh my goodness, a quick little plug, you guys. I'm going to be taking on a few clients for social media management. So if you are a small business, if you're a creative, or if you have a little brand, I would love to help you with your socials. I'll make sure to talk about this more on next week's episode, but if you are seeking some help for your social media, for creating really fun, engaging content like cool reels or whatever you're looking for, let's chat. I would love to talk to you. Okay, you guys, to close off the podcast, I am going to be showcasing a musical artist. Now, you heard me talk about her a few podcast episodes ago, but I am bringing back Rebecca Sichon. Now, I watched Rebecca perform a few weeks ago, and I was absolutely blown away. She is a powerhouse. She is so unbelievable. And then after the show, I started to listen to her music on Spotify, and this beautiful song popped up. So I sent her a text and I was like, my girlie, I'm obsessed. Can we please play it on the podcast? And she's like, yes, absolutely. So you guys, I have to play it for you guys. Make sure you go follow Rebecca on Instagram and on Spotify. Have an amazing week, everybody. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. This song is called Breaking Free by Rebecca Sichon. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
I've been fighting night and day, wishing for a better way out. But outside this cage, well, I find my place. Thought you were the missing piece, rearranged the parts of me to fit in. But now that I've grown through wounds that I've sown, I'm spreading my wings on my own now. Just let me go. Just let me be. and so much life to live, and so much more to me. Watch as I fly, 'cause baby I'm soar. Oh, 'cause every bit of me is calling out to me. Breaking free. I've been feeling steady now, slowly trying to figure out where I belong. Oh, and righting my wrongs. I'm spreading my wings, start my own now. So just let me go. Just let me be. 'Cause I've got so much left to give, and so much life to live, and so much more to me. Watch as I fly, 'cause baby I'm soar. Oh, 'cause every bit of me is calling out to be. Breaking free. Yeah, I'm breaking free. No. So just let me go. Just let me be. Just let me be. 'Cause I've got so much left to give, and so much life to live, and so much more to me. Yeah. Watch as I fly, 'cause baby I'm soar. Oh, 'cause every bit of me is calling out to be. Breaking free.